Hello, Leo. Second video, I started off with the energy card. Your card was the engineer. Every problem has a solution is your mantra. This is Mars energy, feeling fiery. Pulled out the first couple of cards while I shuffled on camera on the other video. And I'll lay this out for a Celtic cross, and I'll shuffle more for whatever we got next. 2, so first card out, Leo, 4 of bows, celebration. This is like the bows in this deck is wands. Definitely celebration, happiness, strong foundation. I like it, good stuff. What crosses you? 7, the Archer. So this is the Chariot of this deck. A movement forward. Maybe there's some kind of change in your life. It says stability though. Why is the Chariot? Maybe there's a move coming up, and a move in work or relationship, home, state, house, apartment, I don't know. Maybe some kind of trip coming up. Why would the Chariot be your complete issue on a steady foundation of celebration? Maybe because you're celebrating because something is done and you're moving forward, that something was completed, and now there's a next phase in that life. But it could have been a difficult challenge. So there is an element of celebration towards that ending. Now the foundation journey. Now this is death in this card. Yes, it is death. The foundation is an end. And there's a movement forward. And you're finally happy that it's over. And whatever this ending was, and knowing that you're moving away from it, it does bring a sense of celebration. Perhaps it was a very trying time for you. Now 10 of arrows, 10 of swords in the past, a lot of conflicts, a lot of worries, instructions. It's like 10 of swords. This is instruction, but you know, in the Rider-Waite, 10 of swords is conflict. It's being totally like betrayed and stabbed in the back somehow, and of multiple times. Now, when this says instruction, maybe this is universe when it comes in, giving you instructions as where your direction should be going and towards. I guess when something is, a path is like so danger ridden and like overgrown, and you know, it just would make sense to find an easier path, right? And maybe this is universe's way to put a lot of blockages in your life in order for you to realize that something needs to be ended, or something that shouldn't have continued to go on, which I definitely see here, especially since you find your foundation from moving on from it, right? Or moving away from it. Now, 9 of arrows. Feeling stuck. Nine of Swords. dedication. This is feeling stuck, burdened. It could have been burdened because you feel responsible for someone or something. A lot of responsibilities or people depending on you. You feel stuck from moving away, and it's your responsibilities and dedication to what you told yourself that you would do or started. It's your goals, your conscious awareness, the best it can be accomplished at present. Just to keep on working. Maybe you're having a lot of fears and worries about the future, and you are trying to do the best that you can to maintain your life and everything that you have. Now, what is in front of you? 6 of arrows. This is moving away to calmer waters. This is winning the war by not fighting the battle. This is the transition into somewhere new. Going towards something or somewhere that is more emotionally fulfilling. And with the 6 of arrows, it's taking everything that they have and they have learned and everything that they have lost, and they leave to another cycle, a new home, situation, relationship, whatever this represents to you, and is going somewhere new. Now, sometimes it's important to remember that the Rider-Waite depicts somebody with all of their stuff on the boat, but also a lot of swords along with them. So sometimes there's a sense of leftover baggage or resentments or fears and anxieties that you'd say mainly resentments and pain and hurt, baggage that you could be taking with you. And especially since something is so fresh, you can't just automatically heal from a wound or an accident without a healing period, and stepping away from a hurtful situation is its first step, but it's a transition. Now, how you see yourself. This is the Queen of Vessels, the salmon. So the Queen of Cups, someone who is intuitive, empathic, motherly, empathetic, an empath who feels the energies around them and loves openly, and who can be deeply empathic and intuitive. And it's like whatever situation or hardship that you went through, being that you're the Queen of Cups, it didn't shake you. You still are able to maintain your happiness, your love of life, and perhaps you are reclaiming it now that you could finally leave from this situation. I feel like a sense of relief. King of Cups in reverse. Now, how people on the outside see you. That which is outside of yourself and how others perceive you. So, people on the outside, person, business, they could see you as someone selfish and uncaring, that you're leaving the situation, that you no longer want to participate with the conflict. And it looks like there's a lot of conflict, and I'm not one to judge on who brought the conflict or why there's conflict. Sometimes, and all because there's a breakup or there's a separation, it doesn't mean that there's someone's at fault. It just means that you two, or, you know, organization or whatever you were associated with, just has a conflict of interests, has a different view of perspectives, and was unable to reach a collaborative agreement in a healthy way, because maybe perspectives are so different that it's almost impossible to see each other's side. And it's also, I mean, it could denote someone who is rather kind of unempathic or self-centered, that one side isn't even willing to see the others. Or maybe there's an expectation that you should have stayed within the situation no matter what kind of conflict, and they see you as someone who is selfish because you no longer want to collaborate in the unhealthy dynamic. Somebody could see you as no longer offering love and emotion to this situation. And they could see that you have gone cold to the situation. Your hopes and fears. The Knight of Wands. It looks like you are ready to move away from this. Knight of Wands, you are someone who can be a bit impulsive. Who reacts with impulse, who doesn't think before they act, who lets their passions kind of rule the show over logic or critical thinking. Or this is someone who is just so damn happy leaving this high conflict situation that you feel like you're getting some fire back and some happiness. Or maybe you're done emotionally investing in something that, even though it had a strong foundation, you became bored of it and you're ready to move on towards something new, because it's like it was comfortable. It was very comfortable to be in this situation. It could have been a long-term marriage, or why did I keep pulling? It could have been a long-time marriage or a long-time relationship, or you've been at this job for a really, really long time. I don't know. But it's like you felt kind of disassociated and dead and unhappy and bored while you were in it. And it seemed like you were deeply unsatisfied in this situation for a really long time. Now, the Queen of Bows. This is the outcome, what you will gain from this experience, the reward, the quality or tool that will help you achieve a breakthrough. This is someone who is highly observant. Someone, it can denote a widower or a divorcee, or someone who was burned in the past, and because of living the experienced life, they became a lot more discerning about who comes around them, because they are willing to see that not everybody is their best friend, that, you know, they are willing to look at logic and thinking and not let their emotions get involved in their decision making because it has steered them wrong in the past or they have been burned in the past. I don't see the Queen of Swords being somebody that is mean or vindictive. This is just somebody who is experienced. And when you learn by experience, there is a sense of preservation and a lack of naivety that everybody is your best friend and is out for you because, you know, reality showed you different. You're going to cut something off. Queen of Swords. She cuts off people, places, and things that no longer serve them. And you know that you have to keep diligently working, you know, take care of family, home, and all of that. And there's some responsibilities here that you just can't let go of, but the relationship as a whole and the problems that come with it, it looks like you're moving away from it, and it looks like you are better for it. Now, the Mirror. This is the Hanged Man. This is justice, needing to see something in a different perspective. Justice came about when consequences were given towards actions that were taken. Perhaps there was some court case or something, and you're waiting on some kind of decision, or you're waiting on some kind of like what was the word I'm trying to find? You're waiting on like the aftermath of a decision that was made, and somebody is getting some kind of karmic retribution, as in somebody is having consequences for their actions, whether it be good or bad. And when justice comes about, it's usually because somebody in this situation or equation felt there was an injustice, that they were betrayed somehow, and somehow it's being set right. And there was a need to see something in a different perspective, and there was an unsure if you should leave, but ultimately decisions that were made due to past situations that made someone else feel betrayed. Now, 5, the Ancestor. This is the Hierophant. This is someone who is spiritually knowledgeable, and this speaks of higher knowledge, spiritual learning. This is someone who is knowledgeable in religions, organizations, society rules and foundations. This could also speak to personal beliefs and values, perhaps somewhat rigidly, or this is someone who has learned themselves in a more in-depth way, and in doing so, it made them a little more closer to the divine. There was a type of awakening. It could be due to a Taurus as well. But there's a Justice, Hangman, Justice, Hierophant, feeling stuck. Hangman, Justice. This could have been a end of a marriage or a long-term relationship, or some kind of union that a shared relationship situation, a shared home, even roommates, or some kind of like organization that you worked with. It was like federal or, military, medical, or government. But you're waiting for some kind of justice to be brought about, and Maybe in some way that's why you stayed as long as you did, because you were dedicated to this situation, or at least bringing yourself justice, because you felt like you invested a lot into this. But ultimately, justice definitely was given and set right. Between this union. And although you felt dedicated and stuck to it, you're going to ultimately move on. Because you felt betrayed, or somebody felt betrayed by you. Page of Stones, Page of Pentacles, bottom of the deck. That is someone wants to offer you something tangible, peace offering maybe, or some kind of gift or invitation, or Page of Stones, something tangible. It's a message about something tangible that's going to be coming towards you, or somebody wants to give you. Now with the Pages of Pentacles, anything Pentacles, they're slow as hell, and perhaps you've been waiting on this message about some kind of opportunity for a really long time. And that's the thing that kept you stuck. Or some kind of decision or court case, but whatever it was, judgment was made. And I mean, there was a justice, things were set right within this relationship, and now somebody wants to make up for it, or possibly you want to make up for it with something tangible, even though you're moving away from it. Knight of Rose. You're happy to move away from this. Maybe somebody wants to give you a tangible, like, message about your things, possibly, to finish getting or picking up. But you felt stuck to this situation because you felt obligated to it. You felt obligated to the people around you, or person or relationship around you. And that's why you stayed for as long as you did. And you were waiting for some kind of payoff, like there was going to be some payoff, and perhaps you're still waiting on it. And perhaps it will come, but it's like there is this life cycle that is waiting to be ended. Until it does, you're still waiting for your justice within this relationship, this long-term relationship or partnership, whether love relationship or business. And you feel stuck before that, and at one point you feel like you couldn't leave, but ultimately I believe there will be an ending regardless. Perhaps there was a wrongdoing somehow because of boredom, and somebody decided to have conversations with somebody else, or flirting messages or whatever, and this was seen and found out, and ultimately it created an ending, but it was done out of some kind of boredom, and it was something that you felt burdened and stuck in for a while, and now you're moving on from it. what you don't see is that somebody is going to come in with offering you something tangible. Maybe it is a time to pick up the rest of your belongings or things, or if there are shared assets, a conversation about splitting that up or getting your share, or, you know, like something along those lines. But I see a lot of relief at this ending, and I feel like you were done with this for a really long time. To the sea. So 7 is spirituality, consciousness, introspective. It's time to go within. There is a spiritual quest that is happening within your life, and to be cognizant of that and what you're feeling and why that is and why this actually happened. It's important to be fair and accept your part of the situation, and what did you contribute to it? Because we all have parts to play when there are conflicts within relationships. And there's never solely a victimizer and victim. You know, when it comes to long-term relationships, you know, it's a collaborative thing, you know. It takes two to tango. And it's important to be fair and accept your part of it, and also ultimately how you contributed to the ending of it. Now, yin energy, it's time to accept. Now the yin is the divine feminine. This is also accepting, allowing things to come to you, self-nurturing. It's time to give back to yourself and to self-nurture, go within. There's a spiritual journey that is happening, and that this is a total evaluation from something that was around for a very, very long time, and you're almost kind of like reintroducing yourself to yourself. Now, be accepting and allowing of what is to come. You know, don't make any rash, impulsive situations. Whatever is for you will be for you, and allow it to come in, and if it is for you, it will. Be accepting of the situation and be fair of the parts that you played into it. This was meant to happen. It's time to co-create with spirit. This cycle within your life, there had to be this ending in order for you to continue your spiritual growth. And when we have learned lessons from the other, and it's time to learn new lessons or progress even more, it's time to do that, you know, within yourself. And sometimes it means with other people. Sometimes it means to reintroduce yourself to yourself. And it's time to co-create with spirit and follow your life path. What is it that you're meant to do? What is it that you're really here for? Is it time to take a look within yourself and to finally ask yourself what it is that you really want, instead of just placating to what other people want and acquiescing to that, or just, you know, agreeing to that for other people, which ultimately made you feel empty. because it looks like you made the decision more for the other person and other situation and responsibilities and history more than dedication and love and, you know, a genuinity. And, you know, and in the end, you are just attaching yourself to what other people want while denying your own needs and your own soul growth. And perhaps this was divine intervention in order to get you to move and to start really reevaluating your life and what you were really meant here to do. It's time to stay within the present. Don't fear the future. It just brings anxiety. Don't dwell too much in the past because it'll just bring regret. Just stay within now and the present. What needs to be done on the day-to-day. You know, take step-by-step plans and carry them out, because this looks like this is going to be a process. And, you know, with a process, it takes a while. And the only thing that you can do is give yourself small goals to achieve. Or else, if it's a large job or project to do, it could be too overwhelming of what needs to be done and what is expected. And if you do grieve, which of course you will, even though you seem more lighter with the situation, be empathetic to yourself, to give yourself time to be able to do that, and acknowledge that there were some wounds or pains if there was, and acknowledge the time, the good and the bad times that you had with this situation and organization. But ultimately give yourself a deadline of when to stop doing that and to continue to work diligently day by day to accomplishing small goals, small achievable goals, so you don't feel like you're drowning. Bottom of the deck, what you don't see is that you're blessed. Maybe you feel blessed to be finally out of this situation. There is a huge death or transformation within this situation. Possibly even a death within the family of somebody who was ill for a really long time and they made a transition. And this is grieving and accepting that and moving on to greener pastures. Perhaps somebody that you were involved with had a death and left them to reevaluate everything that they have or has, or vice versa. And it made them realize that they didn't have a lot of time left and they wanted to go and seek their destiny and their life path in order to do so. Or like I said, vice versa. If this isn't a death, this is an end to a relationship or a long-term marriage. And it's important to know what you don't know is that you're blessed. This was meant to happen. This is divine intervention. And although it is sad and painful and anxiety-ridden, you know, we can't see what is really the ultimate outcome for our life and what we were meant to do. That's universe's perspective, and sometimes we can't see the forest from the trees as to seeing everything in black and white, like everything's bad and everything's good, and, you know, and when you find yourself in that shadow and saying, oh, you know, it's just that I feel like I'm cursed or something, you know, just know that you're not cursed. You are blessed, and this is a blessing in disguise. This was meant to happen. This was divine intervention. This was needed to happen because you've learned what you needed from the situation. Whether it be that time with a family member who did transition within their life, or that partner that you've had a long partnership with, or a long-term relationship or marriage, or that job that almost became a part of your identity that you've had for so long that you don't even really realize how much of yourself that got entangled within it. Now there's a time to reintroduce you to you and find out what it is that you were really meant here to do. If you have some questions and able to do that, or where to find that, the way I found mine was, and I follow both tropical and Vedic. I really like Vedic astrology. And my suggestion to you is download your Vedic sidereal birth chart and look at your birth chart and your Navamsha, your north node, which is, and your south node, which is your Rahu and Ketu, your ascendant, your moon sign, because that is ultimately who we are, our moon sign. And you'd be amazed as to how much you actually learn about yourselves. And the great thing is about Vedic and sidereal astrology is that they have something called Nakshatras. Now these are like deacons in tropic astrology, but they're way better. Like each nakshatra astrology is divided up into 4 parts, and they each have a god or goddess attributes to them. And it really is like a code that unlocks all of your possibilities from and multiple life skills from this life and the last. And it's actually amazing. It's, for me, in my opinion, it doesn't hold a candle to tropic, because there's some gaps that Vedic sidereal kind of fill in. But that's just my opinion, of course. But best of luck for you. There's a lot of soul growth and a spiritual journey at hand for you. Just be gentle with yourself and remember to nurture yourself throughout this change, because this is a spiritual path that you are walking, and it is definitely divine induced and able to do so, because it's time for you to fulfill your purpose, and on whatever that is for you. But that's what I have for you, Leo. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, and comment. There's a donation box below if you feel moved to do so, and if not, I love you lots anyway, and I'll be talking to you later. Bye.